Did he just punch the panel? Azami, who you also may know as the Executioner or Call the Doctor guy, is one of the most beloved characters in Kagurabachi. Despite a small amount of screen time, Azami quickly became one of the fan favorites. So let's discuss one of Azami's best moments in Kagurabachi that made people like him even more. Let's talk about Azami's generational run in Kamunabi HQ. In chapter 78, as we see Kamunabi heads including Azami having a meeting, the station operator reports that the Hishaku have started their attack on the force field. Their goal is to kill Shinichi's contracted bearer to wield the blade themselves. Kasen, the leader of the Kamunabi, makes a decision to let the Hishaku enter the first level of HQ to prevent the battle on the surface. There are 7 confirmed invaders on the first level of the headquarters. The Kamunabi's plan is to intercept the Hishaku here, and Azami is our best chance at defeating them. We see 3 people entering the headquarters west entrance. One of them is confirmed to be a Hishaku member, and the other 2 are the Shigu brothers, skilled sorcerers who once managed to kill 11 Kamunabi. All 3 men have entered the elimination grounds of the first level. Azami arrives to eliminate the threat. Before the Kamunabi, there was the counter-sorcery army. After the Kamunabi was created, it adopted the army's ranking system, which is now discontinued. Azami reached the rank of colonel at the tender age of 18. The moment Azami arrives, the brothers immediately feel his aura, and without wasting a second they instantly attack him. They use their sorcery, yellow chains, to restrain Azami. He easily breaks the chains and absolutely annihilates one of the brothers, and before the other can even react, he gets demolished as well. The rule of the threat elimination grounds is that threats die here, and Azami made sure to follow that rule because damn, this bump just got one-shotted. There is only one target left, the Hishaku member, and the next time we see Azami, the supposed Hishaku member is already dead. Azami recognizes him as the armored assassin who ambushed Kunishigeru Kuhira, or an Ibuki I guess. As the Hishaku starts to dissolve, Azami realizes that this is a sorcery-controlled puppet. The real assassin is somewhere else. Then we have our first look at the real Hishaku member, who also feels Azami's aura. He states that the puppet was just a distraction. Imagine being so cool that the Hishaku just have to hold you off. Azami finds Ichiki and then they meet Hakuri and Kiri. Now the plan is to escort Hakuri to Shinichi so he can store it in the warehouse. The Hishaku themselves couldn't have expected to defeat Kamunabi with such a small number of fighters. There must be something else. The Hishaku knew Shinichi was going to end up in the Kamunabi's possession. The Kamunabi confirmed that Shinichi wasn't charged with anyone's spirit energy and then they resealed it. Aside from Yatsuru, Ichiki and Kasen, nobody has come into contact with a sword. Ichiki suspects that one of them may be colluding with the Hishaku. Once the group arrives, we see Kasen observing the Shinichi. We see spirit energy pouring from within the seal. Everything was compromised. Kasen is the trader who covered it up, and Yura was the one to charge the sword with his spirit energy. Yura activates its power and Kasen tries to attack Hakuri, but he might have forgotten that he's in the same room with Azami, because that fat bum gets one-shotted by him. Dumbass! Azami tells Ichiki to interrogate Kasen, and Ichiki asks him where is he going. He replies with, to kill their leader. We also get a page of pure unfiltered Azami glaze from Ichiki. After Yura quickly deals with Uruha and Natsuki, he finally meets Azami. Before the fight begins, all 4 of them feel something. It's Samura's and Chihiro's presence. They're going to be here soon. Until then, Uruha, Natsuki and Azami will hold Yura off. Azami pulls out his Charlie Kirk coin and activates his sorcery. His eyes widen and the next second he is already jumping Yura with Uruha and Natsuki. Kasen states that sorcerers are defenseless against Shinichi. Then we see Azami standing next to Yura unscathed.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Yura uses Dragonfly to damage Azami's hands, but he throws coins at Yura, which greatly damages him. The different ionization characteristics of 2 different metals produce a faint electrical current. Tipping them to the affected area of body can regulate currents within the body to retrieve muscle tension and pain. The technique was popularized by a local doctor who used his sorcery to cure even serious illness. It was a sorcery passed down through the Azami lineage until a certain someone, you know who, adapted it for combat. Azami's sorcery allows him to use the power to either accelerate his blood circulation to enhance his physical performance, or stimulate the muscle fibers of an opponent. Yura realizes that Azami was bluffing when he pretended that he was unarmed. Sorcery is his true strength. Azami assures him that his real strength is in his fists as he slams his fist into Yura, asking him if he's good with hanging out with them for so long. Yura says that Azami will wear himself out fighting like that, and Azami starts to slander Yura. You have the Shinuchi, and you can even beat an unarmed doctor. Dude,
You suck!
Yura feels offended by Azami's words, so he decides to lock in. He also feels the Sword Master trying to take him over, bit by bit. Uruha and Natsuki wake up. The muscles and bones in Azami's arms are already shredded, and soon it will get even worse. But even so, Azami can still hit Yura. Azami acknowledges that they need the enchanted blades to stop Yura. They just need some time to restore the force field. He says he'll buy Chihiro and Samura all the time he can, even if he dies after. But then when we see Kiri, Ikuto and Hakuri fighting Yukisada, Yura walks in, and what he's holding is Azami's arm. And then we see the whole level being infected with Shinuchi's power. Yura is one level above the Sword Master. He enters the dungeon and instead of killing the Sword Master, he changes his mind. Yura wants to lead the country alongside Akemura. But then he feels the immense aura of Azami who appears behind him. Azami disappears from Yura's sight. Yura uses Dragonfly to destroy his second arm, but Azami doesn't care. He kicks Yura with his foot and lands a nasty blow. But Yura is able to block it and send Azami flying. He uses Shinuchi's power to infect Azami. Before Yura can kill him, Shiba appears and teleports Yura outside to Samura and Chihiro. And that's the end of Azami in Kagurabachi Part 1. So now let's answer the question. Why is Azami so goated? First of all, he has aura. Mad aura. Anytime you see Azami on screen, you just know he's gonna do something crazy. Azami was one of the first characters we were ever introduced to, so actually seeing him fighting for the first time was really exciting. And it's actually really nice that we get to know more about Azami. We get to explore him more as a character. Azami is a person who doesn't like to let people down. He really cared about Kunishige, and since his death he cared about Chihiro as well. Azami is a person who strictly follows the law, but he's willing to break it for the sake of the people he cares about. But at the same time he always keeps his head cool. He's rational and calculated. He doesn't allow emotions to take over. He always understands the stakes and importance each action carries. And the last point, Azami always does his job. He says he's gonna eliminate the threat, and what he does? Eliminates the threat. When Kasen betrays them, what does Azami do? He beats him up immediately. When he says that he's gonna buy all the time he can for Samura and Chihiro, what does he do? He buys enough time for them. Azami is just a man of his word. Honestly, I think it's safe to assume that Azami is the MVP of Kamunabi's Raid arc. He was fighting against Shinuchi, the Shinuchi. He was throwing heads with the same guy who one-shotted Uruha and Natsuki at the same time. He lost his arm, he lost his another arm, and he still fought. Azami is so good at his job. I really hope Azami recovers from this fight, cause we gotta see more of him in part 2. And I am really excited for that. The moment they realize that Azami is the GOAT,